It's a battle to rival Braveheart when the Knights take on the Scots next on Quiz Kids.
It's the Bay Area Quiz Kids. And now, the best host on the West Coast, Brad Friedman.
Thank you, everybody. Hi, welcome to Quiz Kids. We have two great teams today, and they are over here, the Carlmont Scots. And they're taking on the Hillsdale Knights. Toss up, good luck to both teams. The answers to choose from are Alaska, Arkansas, and Arizona. Of these, which is the only state that observes daylight savings time? Jake.
Arizona?
No, I'm sorry. You guys can steal.
Arkansas.
Arkansas.
That is right. For 10 points, another state that doesn't observe daylight time is which state that's the only one to be located south of the Tropic of Cancer?
Hawaii.
Correct. Until 2005, what Midwestern state was split across two time zones where some counties observed daylight savings time and others did not?
Kansas? Wyoming?
No, it's Indiana, but you earned 10 points. Here's the next toss-up. Scalene, equilateral, and isosceles. What term describes triangles whose sides are all congruent? Jake.
Equilateral.
Correct. Among the regular polygons capable of tiling a two-dimensional plane on their own, which one has the most sides?
Hexagon, right? I think it's a
Hexagon.
hexagon?
Correct. In what type of polygon does every diagonal lie entirely within the polygon?
Oh, convex or concave? I think it's convex.
Convex?
That is right for 25 points.
Good job, Brian.
Here's your next toss-up. The Avon River, the Thames, and the Severn River. An Ontario namesake of this river was the site of a battle during the War of 1812. Name this British river that flows past London. Jake.
The Thames.
King John was forced to sign the Magna Carta at this Surrey meadow located along the banks of the Thames.
Westminster.
No, it was Runnymede. The Faraday constant, the Boltzmann constant, and the Planck constant. In physics, which constant relates the ratio of the energy of a photon to its frequency? Jake again.
Planck's constant.
Right. What lowercase Latin letter is used to represent Planck's constant?
Phi? Yeah. Phi?
No, it's H. The answers here are Aragon, Castile, and Seville. Spanish princess from what region was Henry VIII's first wife? Sandeep.
Aragon?
Right. Henry broke from the Catholic Church when he wished to divorce Catherine of Aragon to marry whom?
Anne Boleyn.
Anne Boleyn is correct. After ordering Anne's execution, Henry married which mother of the boy king, Edward VI?
Catherine II.
No, it was Jane Seymour. Marconi, Farnsworth, and Land. He demonstrated his first images at his laboratory on Battery Street in San Francisco. Jake.
Farnsworth?
Correct. Farnsworth got his inspiration for scanning lines as a boy growing up in what beehive state?
Beehive State.
Wyoming.
Wyoming?
No, it's Utah.
Okay.
Norway, Denmark, and Sweden. Most new places on the map were named by explorers from those places. The original Zealand is the largest island of what European nation? Brandon.
Denmark.
Correct. New Zealand is in the South Pacific, but Zeeland, spelled Z-E-E-L-A-N-D, is the westernmost province in what other European nation?
Iceland.
No, it's the Netherlands. Oklahoma, Utah, Wyoming. In April 1889, 50,000 people participated in the first land run to settle which? Yes, Jake.
Oh, shoot. Oklahoma?
Yes. Some people get out early to get choice lands and earned what nickname now associated with anyone from Oklahoma?
Homesteaders? Homesteaders?
No, they were Sooners. It's the Sooner State. Boyle, Watt, and Priestley. He made his name and fortune in the 18th century by inventing a process for making soda water. Who is better known today for discovering oxygen? Jake.
Priestley?
Correct. Before oxygen and oxidation were understood, what substance was theorized to be part of all combustible bodies?
Ether? Ether?
No, it was phlogiston.
Okay.
And that is the end of the first round. We'll be right back with more Quiz Kids. Don't go away.
And now it's time to meet the Quiz Kids. Once again, here's Brad.
Thank you, everybody. And we're going to say hi to the folks on the Carlmont Scots team, starting with Joe Walters. Joe, you are a senior. And when we talked earlier, you told me there are two things you like to do, which is lift weights and talk to beautiful women. So which is tougher for you, Joe?
Probably lifting weights. It's a little hard.
Fantastic. So since talking to beautiful women is easier, let's help you out there. What's the largest weight you've ever lifted?
Probably about 315.
350. Good. Sandeep Srinivas, you're a junior, and you, a lot of guys in high school form a band, but you have formed a string quartet. So you're a classy guy.
Yeah.
Which do you play on the string quartet?
Well, I play violin.
Violin. And where do you play?
I mean, we play like in community centers and hotel lobbies and stuff like that, just wherever
Very
we can
nice.
play, I guess.
Good. Well, hopefully, if you win, you can bring the quartet next time. Brandon Whiteley, also a junior and member of your school's cross-country team.
That's correct.
You guys run a 3-mile run. Mm-hmm. And what's your best?
I can do it in about 17 minutes.
17 minutes, which is about my speed for the mile. So good for you. I have something to work up toward. Gentlemen, I'm going to give you a chance to gain the lead. Choose a category. If you answer all questions correctly, I'll throw in a 30-point bonus. Today's categories are famous first words, Hugh and Me, and Beast of Eden. Which category would you like?
We're going to take famous first words.
Famous first words. All right. Give me the first word of these documents, famous documents or literary works or texts, okay? What is the first word of America the Beautiful?
Oh. Oh.
Correct. The first word in the preamble to the U.S. Constitution.
We.
We the people, exactly. The Declaration of Independence.
Is it when?
When in the course of human events, correct. Gettysburg Address.
Four.
7 years ago. How about the Book of Genesis, the King James Version?
No, it'd be like there.
There?
In the beginning.
We knew that.
Yes. A Tale of Two Cities.
Oh, it was the best.
It is correct. And finally, Dickens' A Christmas Carol.
Twas?
Marley was dead. Marley is the correct answer. But you scored 50 points. Congratulations. Turning to the Hillsdale Knights, let's say hi to Connor Bard. Connor, you're a junior and a member of the Hit Squad. It is an improvisation team, justifiably well known in its community. Tell me what's going on with the Hit Squad.
That's right. Well, we go up on stage and nothing's scripted, and we act out suggestions from the crowd, and it's a great time. We actually just had a show a little while ago, the annual Hit versus Aragon improv team.
And here you guys won.
We did win for the first time ever in the history of the Hillsdale versus Aragon improv showdown. It was
excellent. Congratulations. Jake Stone. Jake, you're a senior. You've been with us for 4 years, entertaining us with recipes. And today you're going to tell us how to cook a whole trout.
Okay, so the key is to stuff the belly with herbs and lemon slices, which really adds some flavor. Then put some bacon strips on top, which adds moisture over the cooking time. Then cook it at about 350 to 400 degrees for about 20 minutes to half an hour.
You had me at bacon slices, Jake. I mean, that makes shoe leather taste good. So we'll all have to try your trout recipe. Ben Canavari. Ben, you're a sophomore, and you were telling me earlier how proud you are of your racial diversity.
Yes, I am, let's see if I get this right. I am half Italian, a quarter Japanese, technically Okinawan. I am an eighth Italian, a 16th English, and a 16th German.
You're a half Italian and an eighth Italian.
Half Mexican, sorry.
Okay,
See,
good.
I told you I was going to get it wrong.
Italian, it ultimately doesn't matter. You're just diverse and proud of it.
Yes.
Good for you. 2 more categories to choose from. They are Hugh and Me and Beast of Eden. Which one do you want?
Beast of Eden.
Yeah.
Beast of Eden.
Beast of Eden. What kind of animal was this? Okay. What kind of animal was sacred to the Hindus?
Cows.
Cows?
Cows.
Correct. What kind of animal was E.B. White's title character, Stuart Little?
A mouse.
Mouse.
Right. What type of animal was classically conditioned to salivate by Ivan Pavlov?
Dogs, right? Dogs?
That is correct. Well, what kind of animal was the athlete Man-O-War?
Horse? Yeah.
Sounds like a
horse.
He was a horse. What kind of animal was Nag and Nagaina in the Jungle Book?
Oh, snakes.
Snakes.
Yes, they were cobra snakes. What kind of animal was Odin's killer at Ragnarok?
A wolf, right?
I think so.
Wolf.
That is right. If you get this one correct, you will earn 100 points. What kind of animal was killed in Hercules' first labor?
The Nemean lion, right?
Yeah.
Lion.
You have scored 100 points. Congratulations. Well done. We'll be right back with more Quiz Kids.
And now we're back with the second half of Quiz Kids. Take it away, Brad.
Let's just take a moment to give some thanks to the coaches for these two great teams. First from Carmont, Ms. Patricia Bronstein. And it takes two to manage the boys from Hillsdale, Mr. Ethan Stewart and Mr. Chris Stallings. Thank you, coaches, for your work. Okay, now we're going to go back to the three-for-all, but we are going to raise the point values. The toss-up question will be worth 10, and you can earn up to 25 or even 50 points for subsequent correct answers. Emir, Sahib, and Shah. Found in the names of Mughal emperors, what title was used by Iranian kings until 19... Joe.
Shah.
Correct. What Mongolian term describes men such as Chagatai, who ruled Central Asia, and Kubla, the founder of the Yuan dynasty?
Khan.
Correct. And finally, Hassan Bolkiah is the 29th person to hold what title in Brunei?
Sultan. Sultan.
You got 50 points.
You got a little bit.
Carl Jung, Sigmund Freud, and Jean Piaget. The use of the term psyche to refer to the whole personality, Joe.
Freud.
No. Was started by which great Swiss psychiatrist?
Okay,
Is
Swiss. Young sounds Swiss. Young?
Is right. In the ancient folk tale, an accident with an arrow caused which deity to fall in love with the mortal Psyche?
Arrows.
Arrows?
The story of Cupid and Psyche is similar to which French folk tale made into an animated musical and Broadway show?
French folk tales. Les Miserables.
Oh, so not close. Beauty and the Beast. Oh. There are tears in both, but a little different. All right. Congo, Limpopo, and Zambezi. It empties into the Atlantic, the world's second largest rainforest. Jake.
The Congo.
Yes. Another equally famous African river is the Nile. Which branch of the Nile begins in Ethiopia's Lake Tana and joins the White Nile at Khartoum?
Blue Nile?
Correct. Angola contains the headwaters of which river notable for its inland delta in the Kalahari Desert?
Defer.
Adavanga.
Okay, Okavango River. Yes, you got 50 points. Great Britain, Ireland, and Newfoundland. It's said to stretch from Land's End to John O'Groats. What large island contains the cities of Liverpool and Edinburgh? Jake.
Great Britain.
Which sea, in which petroleum was discovered in the 1960s, separates Great Britain from Scandinavia and the Netherlands?
North Sea. North Sea?
Okay. And the Pentland Firth separates the northernmost points of Great Britain from which Scottish archipelago?
Scottish archipelago? No, not the Falklands. Those are in Argentina.
Your answer?
No answer.
Orkney Islands.
Correct for 50 points. Just swat him aside, Connor, and do your duty. Rachel Ray, Paula Dean, and Alice Waters. All of them can cook dinner for me at any time. But which author and celebrity chef inspired the White House vegetable garden? Jake.
Rachel Ray?
No. You can steal.
Alice Paladine. There's a bunch of butter. Alice Waters.
Probably responsible for everybody's eating healthier in the last 20 years. Yes. What Shattuck Avenue restaurant, considered the birthplace of
Japanese, I think.
California cuisine, was started by Alice Waters?
Chez Panisse.
Correct. And finally, to a Bay Area foodie, Berkeley's North Shattuck Avenue is known by what alliterative name?
Ghetto. Gourmet Ghetto.
You got 50 points.
Man, that was
This summer, I'm going to New York. I'm going to stay at the Muse Hotel. 3 muses are Terpsichore, Thalia, and Calliope. Her emblem was a comedic mask. Who was the muse of comedy? Ben.
Calliope?
No, you can steal.
Do you know what the other ones were? Sycope.
What?
Sycope.
No, it's Thalia. Weavers, nuns, and milkmaids. In the 18th century, it was discovered that women in what occupation appeared to be Ben?
Milkmaids.
Correct. What disease milkmaids got conferred immunity to smallpox?
Cowpox.
And finally, who made the discovery and was the first to vaccinate humans using the cowpox serum?
Pauling? Sure, I have no idea.
Pauling.
No, it was Edward Jenner. Jupiter, Neptune, Pluto. In 2015, the New Horizons mission is scheduled to arrive here. Sandeep.
Pluto.
Right. In 2006, the International Astronomical Union reclassified Pluto as a dwarf planet as it shares its neighborhood with other objects from which belt?
Kuiper Belt.
Correct. The moon Dysnomia orbits which dwarf planet that might be slightly larger than Pluto?
You can say.
Eros.
It's not Eros, it's Eris, and I'm not going to take because they're 2 different deities. So, sorry, not that. Prions, viruses. Dmitry Ivanovsky was the first to identify what variety of small pathogen that can only reproduce inside living cells. Joe.
Virus.
A virus particle, or virion, consists of its genome and what protective protein shell?
Just fucking
Plasma.
Your answer?
No answer.
A capsid. Wagner, Brahms, and Handel. Although he was born in Germany, many consider him to be the most successful opera composer of 18th century London. Who is most famous as the composer of The Messiah? Sandeep.
Handel.
Right. You should know that, Mr. String Quartet. Which of the other Handel compositions was created when King George first requested a concert on the River Thames?
Water music.
Right. A pyrotechnic display to celebrate the end of the War of the Austrian Succession was the setting for the premiere of which of Handel's other well-known compositions?
I don't know. I have no idea.
They were called the Royal Fireworks. Coniferous, deciduous, marquescent. New England leaf peepers might know what term for trees that shed their leaves at the end of the growing season. Brandon.
Deciduous.
The word deciduous doesn't just apply to leaves, but to what structures that most kids start to lose around the age of 6?
Teeth. Teeth.
Correct. Most baby teeth are replaced by similar permanent teeth, but the deciduous molars are replaced instead by what 2 pointed teeth?
Canines. Or is it incisors? Incisors.
Bicuspids. And that is the end of the round. We have 260 for Colmont, 285 for Hillsdale. It's close. Let's see who emerges the victor after these messages. Welcome back. We have 2 very strong teams battling it out here. We'll put 3 minutes on the clock for our final round. The questions are worth 30 points. And it starts when I ask the first question. Good luck to both teams. Here we go. He succeeded Trajan in AD 117, who sought to repel the Caledonians by building a defensive wall across Jake. Adrian. Correct. What layer in the lower stratosphere absorbs most of the sun's ultraviolet light? Jake.
Ozone.
Correct. Its most stable allotrope has 8 member rings. What non-metallic element is required for the vulcanization of rubber? Jake.
Sulfur.
Correct. Its phenotypes include white eyes, short hairs, and curly wings. What was the first insect to have its complete... Sandeep.
Fruit fly.
Correct. What unit results from multiplying a coulomb by a volt, a watt by a... Ben.
A joule.
Correct. A tax exemption for priests is inscribed on what artifact deciphered by Jean-Francois Champollion? Jake.
Rosetta Stone.
Correct. Because they prefer to make love, not war, which apes are sometimes called the hippie chimps? Connor.
Orangutans.
No, you can steal.
Baboons. Baboons.
Bonobos. His memoir was titled My Life on the Plains. Who led the 7th Cavalry to disaster at the Battle of Jake?
Custer.
Correct. In a recent TV interview, architect Donald McDonald said that a Saturn V rocket inspired his design for what Bay Area tower? Yes, Jake.
The America building.
No, you may steal.
Isn't Apple's headquarters like a rocket or something like that? I have no idea. Just say Coit Tower.
Gentlemen?
Coit Tower?
No, it's the Bay Bridge Suspension Tower. A Game of Chess and The Fire Sermon are two parts of what T.S. Eliot poem? Jake.
The love song of J. Alfred Prufrock.
No, you may steal.
The Wasteland? Is that something? The Wasteland?
Correct.
Yes.
Once again, they didn't dig him up. Which former leader of the Teamsters vanished in 1975? Jake.
Jimmy Hoffa.
Right. The Treaty of Wallingford secured the rule of what King of England who married Eleanor of Aquitaine? Jake.
Henry VIII.
No. You may steal.
Henry VI. Henry VI?
Henry II. What multi-lobed organ stores glycogen, synthesizes bile, and detoxifies the blood? Sandeep.
Gallbladder?
I'm sorry, you may steal.
Pancreas?
Liver.
Correct. It's shared by the U.S. and Canada. Thunder Bay and Duluth lie on what largest inland body of water? Connor.
Erie.
No, you may steal.
Superior?
Correct. What poem honors the noble 600 who rode into the valley of... Yes, Jake.
Charge of the Light Brigade.
Correct. It lies on the Gulf of Finland at the mouth of the Neva River. What city was planned by a great 18th century czar? Yes, Jake.
St. Petersburg.
Correct. Voltaire satirized him as Dr. Pangloss in Candide, who, like Newton, developed a version of calculus. Yes, Jake.
Leibniz.
Correct. What nation that has a capital on the Rio de la Plata shares Patagonia with Chile? Yes, Brandon.
Argentina.
Correct. It exits from the left ventricle of the heart. What is the body's largest... Sandeep.
The aorta?
That is right. The final score, 4-10 for Cromont. Hillsdale wins the game with 6-15. Congratulations, Hillsdale. Both teams played well, and we'll see you both in a future match. We'll see you all next week on Quiz Kids. Till then, bye-bye.